Ever get that weird feeling in your stomach, or the hairs on your arm suddenly stand up for no reason? You might just brush it off, but what if I told you that's your brain's secret alarm system, a built-in danger detector you've been ignoring your whole life? Today, we're diving deep into the hidden body reactions your brain triggers asterisk before asterisk danger strikes. These aren't just random twitches. They are ancient survival signals that could literally save your life. Let's start with the most famous one, the gut feeling. You're walking down a street at night, and suddenly your stomach churns. You decide to cross the road, and a moment later you hear a commotion where you would have been. That's not a coincidence. Your gut is often called the second brain for a good reason. It's packed with millions of neurons that are in constant communication with your actual brain. When your subconscious mind picks up on subtle environmental cues, a shadow that's out of place, a silence that's too loud, it sends a rapid-fire message to your enteric nervous system, the one in your gut. This triggers a visceral, physical reaction. It's your primal brain saying, hey, something isn't right here, long before your conscious mind has had a chance to analyze the situation. So next time your stomach does a flip, don't just dismiss it as something you ate. Pause and pay attention. Now, let's talk about goosebumps. We usually associate them with being cold or listening to an amazing piece of music, but they have a much older, more protective purpose. This reaction, scientifically known as piloerection, is when tiny muscles at the base of your hair follicles contract, making your hair stand on end. For our furry ancestors, this made them look bigger and more intimidating to predators. While we don't have enough body hair for it to be a real threat display anymore, the reflex is still hardwired into our nervous system. When your brain perceives a potential threat, even on a subconscious level, it can trigger this response. It is a leftover from a time when looking tough could be the difference between being dinner and surviving. So if you get goosebumps in a situation that feels a little off, it's your body's ancient defense mechanism kicking in. Another fascinating signal is a sudden change in your hearing. Have you ever been in a crowd and suddenly everything seems to go quiet, or you can only hear one specific sound with crystal clarity? This is called auditory exclusion. When your brain goes into high alert mode, it activates the fight or flight response. Your adrenal system floods your body with hormones that sharpen your senses. Your brain starts filtering out non-essential background noise to focus exclusively on the potential threat. It's like your brain is a sound engineer, turning down the bass and treble to isolate the one sound that matters, the snap of a twig in the woods or the screech of tires on the pavement. The opposite can also happen where your hearing becomes intensely sensitive to everything, trying to gather as much information as possible. It's your brain trying to give you the best possible data to make a life or death decision. Let's move on to tunnel vision. This is a classic sign of the adrenaline surge that comes with perceiving danger. When you're under extreme stress, your pupils dilate to let in more light, and your brain narrows your field of vision to focus intensely on the threat right in front of you. Your peripheral vision fades away. This is incredibly useful if you need to fight off an attacker or dodge a speeding car. However, it also means you might miss other dangers coming from the side. Understanding this reaction is key. If you ever feel your vision narrowing, it's a massive red flag from your brain. Your body is preparing for immediate, direct action. The trick is to consciously try to break that focus, to force yourself to scan your surroundings because the danger you see might not be the only one there. Here's one you might not expect, a sudden, inexplicable urge to yawn. We think of yawning as a sign of being tired or bored, right? But research suggests that yawning can also be a response to stress and anxiety. When you're tense, your brain temperature can increase. Yawning is thought to be a cooling mechanism. The deep inhalation of cool air and the stretching of the jaw can help regulate brain temperature, keeping you clear-headed in a tense situation. It's like a biological cooling fan for your internal processor. So if you find yourself yawning in a situation that is anything but boring, like before a big presentation or during a tense confrontation, it might be your body's way of trying to keep you calm and focused under pressure. Another subtle clue is a sudden change in your body temperature. You might feel a flash of heat or a sudden chill run down your spine. This is your circulatory system redirecting blood flow. In a threatening situation, your brain tells your body to pull blood away from the skin's surface and send it to your major muscle groups, your legs, your arms, your core. This prepares you to either run away or fight. The result is that your skin gets cold, which can also reduce bleeding from a surface wound. That chill of fear is a highly practical, physiological response designed for survival. It's your body literally gearing up for battle. What about that metallic taste you might get in your mouth when you're scared? This phenomenon, known as dysgeusia, can happen for a couple of reasons during a high-stress event. The surge of adrenaline can affect your saliva production and your olfactory receptors, which are closely linked to taste. More intensely, the stress response can cause tiny blood vessels in your nose or gums to rupture, releasing a small amount of blood into your mouth, which has a distinct metallic taste. It's a very primal indicator that your body is operating at its absolute limit. It's a sign that your system is in full-blown emergency mode. Finally, there's the strange calmness. This one is counterintuitive. In the face of extreme immediate danger, some people report a feeling of profound calm and clarity. Time seems to slow down, sounds become crisp, and their actions feel deliberate and detached. This is believed to be an extreme coping mechanism of the brain. When the threat is so overwhelming that panic would be useless, the brain can disengage the emotional response to allow the logical problem-solving part to take over. It's a state of hyperfocus where the fear is still there, but it's been pushed into the background so you can act. This is the state of mind that allows people to perform incredible feats of strength or make split-second decisions that save their lives. So, what do we do with all this information? The key is to practice mindfulness and body awareness. These signals are happening all the time, but we live in a world filled with distractions that teach us to ignore them. Start by paying attention. When you feel a weird flutter in your chest, a sudden chill, or a gut-wrenching feeling, don't just brush it aside. Take a moment, pause, scan your environment. Ask yourself, what is my body trying to tell me right now? You don't need to become paranoid, but learning to listen to your body's innate wisdom can be an incredibly powerful tool. It's a skill, and like any skill, it gets better with practice. Your brain and body are a team that has been evolving for millions of years to keep you safe. It's time we started listening to the conversation. Ever get that weird feeling that something's just off? Little alarm bell ringing in the back of your mind, but you can't quite put your finger on what's wrong. Just brush it off and keep going. What if I told you that feeling is actually your brain's ancient built-in survival system trying to save your life? We're diving deep into the hidden body reactions your brain triggers right before danger strikes. The tiny, almost invisible signals you probably ignore every single day, but learning to recognize them could be the most important skill you ever develop. Stick around, because what you're about to learn might just save you one day. Let's start with the basics. Your brain is a supercomputer, constantly scanning your environment for threats, even when you're not consciously paying attention. The process is happening in a part of your brain called the amygdala, which is like your personal security guard. It detects even a potential threat. It triggers a cascade of physiological responses, long before your conscious mind even knows what's happening. Your intuition, your gut feeling, and it's not magic, it's biology. First and most common signal is a sudden change in your baseline state. Imagine you're walking down a quiet street at night. You feel calm, relaxed. For no apparent reason, your heart starts to beat a little faster. Thinking about danger, but your body is already reacting. That slight increase in heart rate is your brain telling your body to get ready, preparing for a potential fight or flight scenario by starting to pump more oxygenated blood to your muscles. A subtle shift, one that's easy to dismiss as just a random flutter, but it's often the very first warning sign. Up is something called hypervigilance. This is when your senses suddenly go into overdrive. Ever been in a situation where sounds seem sharper, colors appear more vivid, or you notice details you'd normally overlook? Not your imagination. That's your brain widening your pupils to let in more light, and tuning your hearing to pick up on faint or unusual sounds. You might suddenly notice the hum of a refrigerator you had tuned out, or the way a person's shadow is falling. It's your brain gathering as much data as possible, trying to identify the source of the potential threat. This is a powerful tool. For example, if you in a crowd and suddenly become acutely aware of one person's movements or their fixed stare, that's your hypervigilance kicking in. Ignore it. Your subconscious has picked up on something, a micro-expression, a posture, a movement that doesn't fit the normal pattern of the environment. Another fascinating and often overlooked signal is a change in your body temperature. You suddenly feel a chill run down your spine, or your hands might become cold and clammy. This isn't just a random occurrence. Brain senses danger. It diverts blood flow away from your extremities, like your hand, and directs it towards your larger muscle groups, your legs, your arms, your core. It's a survival tactic. It prepares your major muscles for explosive action, whether that's running away or defending yourself. It also minimizes potential blood loss if you were to get injured in an extremity. If you in a perfectly warm room and suddenly feel a cold shiver or notice your hands are freezing, pay attention. Your body is physically preparing for a confrontation, even if your conscious mind hasn't identified a reason yet. Talk about that gut feeling. It's a real, physical sensation. Under acute stress, your brain releases stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. Hormones have a direct impact on your digestive system. They can cause that fluttering, butterflies in your stomach feeling, or even a sudden wave of nausea. Why? Because in a true survival situation, digestion is a non-essential process. Body's resources are better spent on immediate survival tasks. So, your brain effectively tells your digestive system to pause. Create a very real physical sensation in your abdomen. You say, my gut tells me this is a bad idea. You're not just using a figure of speech. Your brain and your gut are in direct communication, and that feeling is a powerful piece of intelligence from your internal security system. The most subtle but powerful signs is what experts call the sense of being watched. That creepy, hair-raising feeling that someone's eyes are on you, even when you can't see anyone. It isn't paranoia. Humans and many other animals have evolved a sophisticated ability to detect gaze. Peripheral vision is incredibly sensitive to movement and patterns, and your brain is exceptionally good at picking up on the subtle cues that indicate someone is looking directly at you. Register the slight turn of a head, the glint in an eye, or the orientation of a body from a remarkable distance. You get that prickling sensation on the back of your neck. It's your subconscious brain processing these tiny visual cues and screaming, "Warning! Potential predator detected." Take it seriously. Scan your environment. Don't just dismiss it and keep scrolling on your phone. Another key reaction is a change in your own behavior. Ever found yourself unconsciously creating distance from someone or changing your route without a clear reason? Your subconscious mind, having already assessed a potential risk, taking control of your actions. Cross the street, step into a well-lit store, or angle your body away from a particular person. Not even be able to explain why you did it. Just say, "I don't know, I just felt like it." Feeling was a complex risk assessment performed by your brain in milliseconds, analyzed body language, tone of voice, proximity, and 1,000 other data points, and concluded that increasing distance was the safest course of action. To trust these instinctual maneuvers, rather than overriding them with politeness or social pressure, is crucial. Also consider verbal and nonverbal mismatches. Your brain is a master at detecting incongruence. When someone's words don't match their body language or tone of voice. For instance, someone might be saying something friendly, like "Can I help you?" Their jaw is clenched, their posture is rigid, and their eyes are cold. Your conscious mind might focus on the polite words, but your subconscious brain flags this as a major red alert. Mismatch between the verbal message and the nonverbal cues signals deception or hidden intent. This creates a feeling of unease or distrust. Feel like something is wrong, even if the person is being superficially pleasant. This is your brain's built-in lie detector at work, and it's remarkably accurate. Always trust the body language over the words. So, how do we get better at listening to these signals? The step is to practice mindfulness. This doesn't mean you have to sit and meditate for hours. It means paying more attention to your body and your surroundings in your daily life. Walking, feel your feet on the ground. Listen to the sounds around you. Notice how your body feels. Establishing a baseline of what normal feels like, you'll be much quicker to notice when something shifts. Feel that sudden heart flutter, that chill, or that gut clench. Don't immediately dismiss it. Pause for a second. Ask yourself, what just changed? Take a 360-degree look at your environment. What do you see? What do you hear? Who is around you? The second step is to validate your feelings. Too long we've been taught to ignore our intuition, to be rational and push away those silly feelings. Worry about seeming rude or paranoid, but your intuition isn't silly. It's a survival tool honed by millions of years of evolution. Get a bad feeling about a person or a situation, give yourself permission to trust it. You need to have a logical, perfectly articulated reason. The fact that your internal alarm system is going off is reason enough. It's better to be cautious and wrong than to be dismissive and right. You can always apologize for being rude later, but you can't undo a dangerous situation. Recap these life-saving signals. A sudden increase in your heart rate. Senses going into overdrive. A state of hypervigilance. Sudden feeling of cold or clammy hands as blood is redirected. Real, physical gut feeling of unease or nausea. The hair-raising sensation of being watched. Unconsciously changing your behavior to create distance. And finally, detecting a mismatch between someone's words and their body language. Aren't just random feelings. They are concrete, physiological reactions triggered by your brain's threat detection system. Your personal early warning alarms. Learning to notice them, listen to them, act on them is a skill that empowers you to take control of your own safety. He knows more than you think. It's time to start listening. Thanks for watching, and if you found this helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content that could make a real difference. Stay safe out there.